While vacationing in Italy, American couple Louise and Ben Dalton and their preteen daughter Agnes meet and befriend free-spirited British couple Paddy and Ciara and their son Ant. Back home in London, Louise and Ben are at odds over his unemployment and her infidelity. A letter arrives from Paddy and Ciara inviting the Daltons to their remote farmhouse in Devon. The family decides to go, hoping the change of scenery will be good for them and for Agnes, who has anxiety and is attached to a stuffed bunny named Hoppy. Arriving at the farmhouse, Louise, Ben, and Agnes are warmly welcomed, but as they spend more time at the house, they begin to grow unnerved by strange incidents and passive-aggressive behavior from their hosts that cross boundaries. Louise is also troubled by Paddy and Ciara's aggressive treatment of Ant, who, they learn, was born with a condition that left him with a smaller tongue and an inability to communicate. One evening, the adults go out for dinner, leaving Agnes and Ant in the care of a babysitter named Muhjid, which unnerves the Daltons. While playing hide and seek with Muhjid, Ant shows Agnes a collection of watches Paddy has and a message written in Danish, but Agnes is unable to understand him. At dinner, Paddy challenges Louise's vegetarianism and jokingly simulates a sex act with Ciara, shocking their guests. Upon returning, Louise later discovers Agnes has been moved to share a bed with a drunken Paddy and Ciara. Horrified, Louise flees with her family but are forced to return by Agnes, who left Hoppy behind. Upon retrieving Hoppy, Paddy and Ciara apologize for their behavior, and subtly accuse the Daltons of judging them. The Daltons decide to stay to keep the peace, but the strange, unsettling behavior continues. After an incident where Paddy throws a mug at Ant, Ant steals a set of keys and leads Agnes to a locked shed. Inside is a collection of luggage and personal possessions belonging to various families. Using a photo album, Ant reveals to Agnes that Paddy and Ciara are serial killers who lure families to their farmhouse, rob and kill them before cutting out their children's tongue and using them to assist in luring their next victims. Ant shows Agnes that this has happened to him and his family, and that Paddy and Ciara intend to make the Daltons their next victims. Agnes fakes having her period and manages to get Louise and Ben alone to explain the situation. At their wits' end, the family decides to leave, calmly so as not to arouse suspicion and contact the police to save Ant. Paddy and Ciara, realizing that their plan has been figured out, damage the Daltons' car, and hide Agnes's bunny to delay them, subtly mocking them as they do so. When the Daltons finally drive off, Paddy throws Ant, who cannot swim, into a pond. Ben rescues Ant before a gun-wielding Paddy and Ciara capture them. They are forced to transfer their savings before preparing to be killed and Agnes's tongue to be cut out. A struggle ensues, Paddy is injured, and the Daltons and Ant flee into the house. Paddy, Ciara, and their accomplice Mike hunt for the family. Louise kills Mike and saves Ben before the family flees to the roof. Ciara attacks but falls to her death. As the family attempts to escape, Paddy emerges, holding Agnes at gunpoint. Agnes injects Paddy with a syringe of ketamine, incapacitating him. As the family departs, Ant approaches Paddy, and after Paddy acknowledges his fate by saying to Ant, "That's my boy," An enraged Ant beats him to death with a brick while having a mental breakdown. The family and Ant leave the farmhouse. On the drive, Agnes gives her stuffed bunny to Ant, who sobs quietly.